So in one of the books I read this week, there was a hired thug put on as the US President's special assistant who had his own office right next to the Oval. Now that's insane, right? But hang on, so is the President. This book was intense. What's up guys, welcome back to Unlimited Reads. My name is Chris and today I'll be doing another weekly reading wrap up as we move on into December with Christmas just around the corner that I'm just not prepared for, and I don't really want to think about it at this point. But this week I had a pretty busy week. I finally managed to put out a video about the Jack Reacher books, why you should read the Jack Reacher series. I felt that it was pretty timely to release a video like that because one of the most successful videos I've had on the channel has over 1,000 views now, and it was a promo video on the new Jack Reacher book No Plan B that was released in October, but I did the promo video way back in March, and you know, even the last week or so I've been getting comments about it. So has been a very, very successful video, and I felt that I wanted to share my enthusiasm about the series and put the video out why you should read the books, because they are a fantastic series. I can't compare it to anything else out there. It pretty much stands on its own 2 feet and it's just incredible, and I go through a fair bit of detail about the series. And if you haven't caught that video, please give it a watch, because any new subscriber that watches that video and likes and shares and subscribes to the channel are in the running for a free copy of No Plan B, which I'll post to anywhere on the planet. So get subscribing on that, and by all means check it out, and you might just score yourself a copy of a free book. So what did I read this week? I read 2 books. The first book was Blowback by James Patterson, co-written by Brendan Dubois, who's a decent thriller writer in his own right. Now this book was pretty intense and quite different, and it did have me on the edge of my seat all the way through, and it does help that it has short chapters. I think it had 145 little chapters, which anyone knows that's a vital ingredient to a thriller story or a thriller book, where it's designed to make you keep reading, and it certainly did that to me. So this is about the president, the current president, Keegan Barrett. He gets elected after a long career in the army, and then after serving as director of the CIA, and he gets rushed into the Oval Office, and he begins to conduct a series of operations on US soil, which the CIA can't do that. Obviously, any operation at the best of times needs to be approved by Congress. You can't just launch your own dirty little wars anywhere on the planet. It's just not done that way, although President Barrett thinks differently. So he recruits 2 CIA officers to carry out assassination assignments. One of the officers operates within the US, and the other goes overseas to complete those assignments. Now, Barrett wants to strike against targets that have the potential to wreak havoc on the US. So he's not attacking the targets in response. He's being proactive and destroying targets before they can do anything, which is very, very wrong. And it ends up that he is behind the poisoning of the vice president. He is behind the delay in a new CIA director being appointed, because once that happens, she can look under rocks and have the potential to undo all of what Barrett is trying to achieve, which, due to his mental state, he is actually insane, and he is prepared to risk World War III, especially with provoking China in the process. So it was a really, really good fast-paced book, and I think I got through it in about 3 days. It was really, really well written, and certainly one of James Patterson's better collaborations with a different author. The second book I read was Dark Game by Michael Robertson Jr. Dark Game is the second book in the Lance Brody series. If you're not familiar with the series, it's about a young boy who, after losing his mother, he's left on his own, and he has certain gifts, including being able to speak with the dead. And after leaving his hometown, he jumps on a bus and arrives at a small town where the local football team is really, really big. They love their football in this town. What Lance discovers is that the football team, after being pretty ordinary and just losing every game, a new coach is appointed, and things start to pick up, and the football team starts to win, go on a big winning streak. which is a little bit weird in itself, and Lance has to question what's going on. And turns out that the last 3 seasons where the football team has won, at the end of each season, one of the players has gone missing for whatever reason, and the general explanation is that all 3 players, all 3 teenage boys, had issues and possibly ran away from home, but Lance isn't buying it. And so with the help of a local girl, he eventually gets to the bottom of the mystery, where he has to confront an ultimate evil, and the evil entity at the end of the book in the climax is unlike anything I've ever read, so it's pretty original. It's not a case of being a monster of the week sort of scenario. It's it's hard to explain what this evil is, but very well done. And I think one of the things I'm liking about the series so far, I did read the prequel novella recently, Michael isn't revealing all of Lance's gifts straight away. So what we're finding is we're witnessing him talking to the dead and just touching upon what he might be capable of. And I'm looking forward to that as the season goes on. I'm looking forward to seeing how Lance develops and how his powers grow, and how over the course of the books we will get to know what he can do. So I think how Michael has structured the series is very smart, because rather than have all of Lance's powers come to the surface all at once, he's dishing it out slowly, and I can see the logic in that, and it's really making me want to read the whole series back to back. I'm really hooked on it. I resisted the temptation to read them all back to back, because I do have a couple of books I really want to read in December besides this one, but certainly you're going to be hearing a lot more from me about the Lance Brody series, because I did buy the digital version of the whole 7 books from Amazon Digital for about $12. Very good value. It's about 2,500 pages worth of content, and certainly loving it. And I would say that early next year I'll be moving right along with the series, and I wouldn't be surprised that by Feb I might choose that month to actually read the rest of the books back to back. I'm tied up in January with a fairly large reading project, so January's out, but certainly by the time February rocks around, I'm going to be getting really stuck into it. And I'm also going to be having Michael Robertson Jr. himself on the channel next month, or this month, sorry, around the 16th of December. It's not going to be live, so what I'm asking people to do who watch the this video and the last couple of videos is to submit any questions in the comments below, so that I can ask him anything you like. I'll be asking him my own questions, but I'm encouraging people to submit their own questions so that I can ask them on their behalf. And then once we've had the chat, I'll upload the video after any minor edits that are needed, and it'll be up for everyone to see, and I'll promote the hell out of it, because it's a pretty big deal for an author to come on my channel. It'll be my first guest author, which I'm really excited about. So what else happened this week? What have I been watching? Not a great deal. I did watch the Indiana Jones 5 preview called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I have to admit, I quite liked what I saw. Up until now, all I've been reading about and looking at are pictures behind the scenes and a few details here and there. Haven't really been given much info up until this point. Now the trailer goes for about 1.5 minutes, and you see a lot of good stuff. It appears to have the action sequences that are reminiscent to the beginning. I was getting a real Raiders of the Lost Ark type of vibe with the action scenes. They look pretty organic and pretty original without too much CGI. I like practical stunt scenes and action scenes myself. I felt that you see in the trailer a couple of versions of a younger Indy, which means that there's something going on with time travel where it looks like he goes back and influences in some way his younger selves. And I was quite impressed with how the de-aging looks. We see a couple of shots of a young Indy, and you really it looks like early footage of Harrison Ford, but it's not. It's digitally enhanced to de-age him, and I was really impressed with that. Also really like that John Rhys Davies is back as Sulla, and really like what I saw there in the trailer that I've watched about 5 times, because there are details there I just wanted to get a closer look at, particularly when Indy and a woman from the movie, I'm not sure what role she would be playing, but they leave her off a big boulder and roll it down the ramp, which really fuels the imagination, because obviously one of the most iconic scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark is the Indy running away from the boulder in the temple at the start, and I'm just wondering how that will tie in with everything. So it's really interesting. And at the end of the trailer they just have an end scene where he's in a room full of people and they're all you know, they're trying to get him or whatever, and he deters them with his whip, and then they all start shooting him. It was really quite funny, but it makes me really excited to see this, and it's coming out on 30th of June next year, and I'm really interested to seeing how that goes. So what's happening next week with the reading? I'll be reading Mine by Robert R. McCammon. I've been looking forward to that since I picked up a copy of the book for $1 last month. And I'm also going to be reading Stephen King's It. It'll be my 4th time reading it. I just want to devote December to both these books. Just take my time, no rush, and if I finish these 2 books, it's going to mean I've achieved my 75 book goal for the year as part of the Goodreads challenge. So I'm going to be really happy with that. As to the videos I'm going to be putting up, I'll be doing my November wrap up and book of the month. I'll be doing my reading plans for 2023, which is going to be a massive year next year. And I'll also be having a crack at the end of year book tag as well. And in the next 2 weeks, obviously I'm having Michael Robertson Jr. on the channel and that sort of thing. But the other reminder I'll just mention is up on the community tab I have put a poll to ask for help in choosing my reading vlog for early next year. The 3 books are House of Leaves, Shogun and Centennial. If you could do me a small favour and make a vote on what you'd like to see on the channel, I'll reveal the winning vote towards the end of December, and we'll see how we go. Now, as for the competition for the Jack Reacher video, to win a copy of No Plan B, I'll be announcing the winner next Sunday at on the 11th of December, and someone will be getting a book shipped to them wherever they are on the planet. So there you go, guys. That is it for my weekly wrap up. Let me know what you've been reading yourselves, but yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe and offer up any comments below. I'm always up for a chat, and until next time, I'll see you later.